Hi everyone. So this is mechanics of deformable bodies. So in other terms, this is strength of materials. So we will discuss lecture number 1. Okay? So introduction to mechanics muna tayo. Okay? So in this case guys, let's differentiate muna natin kasi galing kayo sa statics of rigid bodies. Okay? So since tapos na kayo sa statics of rigid bodies, so welcome to mechanics of deformable bodies. Now, to introduce, what is the difference between statics of rigid bodies and mechanics of deformable bodies? So, kung mapapansin nyo, kapag nagsosolve kayo ng problems under statics of rigid bodies, okay? So, we need to maintain the equilibrium when the structure is exposed, no, to forces. Okay? Kaya kung mapapansin nyo, lagi tayong nagsosolve ng summation of forces or summation of moments is equal to 0. So, ibig sabihin guys, we are dealing with external effects. Okay? Then, from the word statics, so automatic walang movement yun, di ba guys? Pero kapag may movement mang involved, okay, pero ang kino-consider lang natin doon is yung object o yung body, hindi rin siya nag-accelerate. Therefore, constant velocity. So, dito siya galing guys, no? So, for example, we have F, okay, is equal to mass times acceleration. Okay? So, since we are dealing with statics of rigid bodies, okay? So, statics, so yung A natin dyan is equal to 0. Kaya kung mapapansin nyo, summation of all forces is equal to 0. Di ba? Ganun yung mga sinasolve natin. Summation of moment is equal to 0. Okay? So, external lang yun, guys. But since nandito na tayo sa mechanics of deformable bodies, okay? Kino-consider na natin yung internal effects. Okay? So, from rigid na hindi natin kino-consider, magiging deformable. So, when you say deformable, deform, no? So, magkakaroon na ng changes yung body mo after we applied external forces. Okay? So, hopefully, naintindihan po yung difference between statics of rigid bodies and mechanics of deformable bodies. Okay? So, for example, we have this situation, no? Meron tayong beam dyan, okay? Na meron tayong pin support. Okay? Then, kailangan nating i-carry yung weight W. So, statics, no? Pagdating sa statics, kino-consider lang natin yung weight, okay? Yung may mga forces tayo dyan, okay? Then, we need to maintain the equilibrium. So, magkakaroon tayo ng reaction dito. Okay? Then, we have horizontal. Okay? And then, to maintain the equilibrium din, para hindi rin bumagsak yung, let's say, itong bar mo. So, mag-a-apply tayo ng upward force F. So, under statics of rigid bodies, so, mag-equate lang tayo or di kaya magsasolve lang tayo ng summation of all forces to maintain the equilibrium equal to 0 or summation of moment is equal to 0. Okay? Pero under mechanics of deformable bodies, so after applying these equations, no, kailangan nating ma-check if kaya bang buhatin ng bar etong weight na to. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, kailangan natin ma-consider kung made-deform ba yung bar na yan, kung magkakaroon ba ng failure yung bar. Depende, no, kung gaano kalakas yung mga forces na naka-apply dun sa bar. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan nating ma-check din yung internal effects ng bar na yan after we apply these external forces. Okay? So, check natin kung kaya ba ng bar or kaya ba ng capacity ng bar kapag nag-carry siya ng weight and forces. Okay? So, yun yung concept ng mechanics of deformable bodies. So, sige. Let's say meron tayong bar dyan, no? Okay? Nag-undergo siya or nagkaroon siya or na-expose siya sa forces. So, let's say force 1 ang tumama sa kanya. Then, we have this force 2. no? Then let's say we need to analyze a point, no? Somewhere here, dito sa bar mo. Okay? Then mag-cut tayo ng section. So let's say point O. So ngayon guys, kapag when you say cutting of section, ang goal kasi natin guys is makita natin yung internal effect nung bar na to nung na-undergo siya ng forces or kung may tumama man siyang forces, let's say F1 and F2. So, since magkakat tayo ng section somewhere here, then makikita natin ngayon yung tinatawag nating cross-sectional area. So, when you say cross-sectional area, kapag nag-cut tayo ng section, no, somewhere here sa material mo, may makikita tayong area. Depende yan, no, kung it can be circular, triangular, trapezoidal, square, rectangle, depende, no. So, in this case, we will assume muna na yung cross-sectional area mo ay rectangular. Okay? So, sige, pakita lang natin ulit. So, force 1, force 2, then ulitin lang din natin, mag-cut tayo ng section. So, ganito guys, kapag nagka-cut tayo ng section, nasa sa inyo kung ano ba yung mas madaling i-analyze. It can be upward, it can be downward, or the lower or upper part of your material. Pwede ring left or right. Depende kung ano yung mas madaling i-analyze. So, based dito, sa arrowheads na yan, i-consider natin yung downward or the lower part of your material. So, ngayon, kapag nag-cut tayo ng section, may expose natin yung internal reactions niya or internal effects. Let's say, due to these forces 1 and forces 2, or force 2 rather, magkakaroon siya ng internal effect or internal reactions. So, let's say, meron niyang resultant force, no? Then, merong resultant moment. Okay? So, kindly imagine mo na yung mga factors na yan. Okay? Next. So, since kinonsider na natin yung internal effects ng material na yan, so we have the resultant force and resultant moment. Okay? So, pwede natin siyang i-convert into components kasi naka-vector siya eh. So, under your statics, kapag naka-inclined yung vector, pwede natin siyang i-break into components. So, we have this one for forces and moments. Okay? Sige, breakdown lang natin ulit. So, ito ulit yun. So, under this one, instead of itong resultant, gawin natin component. So, ito yung for forces or resultant force. Ito naman yung for resultant moment. So, in this case, kay resultant force, meron siyang horizontal. Let's say, let's call it V, no? Then, ito naman, this P, force P. Then, for the resultant moment, meron din yung vector dito. Okay, let's call it M. Ito naman, let's call it P. Okay? So, ngayon, let's discuss ano ba yung mga variables na yan. Okay? So, ito na yung naging finalize kanina nung analysis. So, isa-isahin natin. Let's say, baliktarin natin yung material mo. So, ngayon, let's call it undeformed. So, when you say undeformed, guys, wala pang pagbabago dun sa material mo. Kasi wala pa naman tayong kino-consider na external forces para magkaroon ng changes yung material mo. So, again, undeformed. So, for example, let's call it L sub O or the original length of your material. Ngayon, ko-consider natin what if humaba yung material mo. So, para humaba yung material mo, mag-a-apply tayo ng force P. So, itong force P na yan, ito po yun, no? Itong force P na yan. Okay? At kung mapapansin nyo, itong force P na yan is naka-perpendicular with respect to this cross-sectional area kanina. Okay? Cross-sectional area. Kaya nagkaroon ng tinatawag na elongation. So, nag-elongate yung material mo due to this force P that is perpendicular with respect to your cross-sectional area. Okay? So, ngayon, from the original length, okay, nagkaroon siya ng extension or elongation. So, let's call it delta plus. Okay? So, delta yan, no? Greek delta. So, itong plus na yan, kaya natin ginawang plus yan kasi nagkaroon ng change in length positively. Kasi nag-elongate humaba, no? Nag-increase in length. Okay? Next, how about lumiit naman? So, kaya yan liliit guys kasi nag-apply naman tayo ng force P ulit. And take note that is perpendicular. So, the difference is that kapag elongation, yan ay tensile. Okay? Kailangan natin mag-apply ng tensile force P. Then, ito namang force P na to na nag-create or nag-cause ng pagliit ng material mo, so yan naman ay compressive force P. So, compression, no? So, that is shortening. So, from the original length na LO, okay, nagkaroon ng change in length, pero yan ay delta negative. Okay, so negative na yung effect niya. Okay, so yung P na yan yung tinatawag nating normal force. So, take note, this force acts perpendicular to the area. So, it is developed whenever the external loads tend to push or pull on the two segments of the body. So, kapag ipupush mo yung material mo, yan, mag-apply ka ng compressive force P. Then, kapag pull naman, automatic, tensile naman yung i-apply mo. And take note, yan ay naka-perpendicular. Okay? So, yan yung effect ng P dito sa material na to. Okay? Next. How about this one? Itong V naman. Kung mapapansin nyo, itong force na to, force V, with respect to your area, kasi ito yung area nyo ulit, no? So, kung yung force P ay naka-perpendicular, yung V naman ay naka-parallel. Okay, take note of that ha. Yung P, naka-perpendicular, yung V naman ay naka-parallel. So, due to this upward V, no? So, it will tend to move your material like this one. So, syempre, gagalaw yan pangat. Okay? So, same case kapag naka-downward V naman, so, bababa naman yung material mo. So, ito naman yung tinatawag nating shear force V. So, take note, this force lies parallel. Okay? Parallel in the plane of the area, tending to shear. So, another word for shear, guys, is slide. Okay? Magkakaroon ng sliding effect. No? In one segment of the body relative to the other segment. Okay? Next. So, goods na tayo. So, itong P, perpendicular or normal force. Itong V naman ay shear force or parallel. How about yung mga moments naman? Ano ba yung effect niya dun sa material? Okay? So, how about this one? Okay. So, ito naman yung, let's call it positive M. Itong M naman, moment. Okay? So, yung positive M na yan, it will tend to bend, no? Bend yung material nyo positively. So, kapag nag-apply ka dyan ng ganitong M, no? Papangitiin niya yung material mo rather. Okay? Yung bar mo. So, kapag ngumiti yung bending, so, magiging positive po yan. Okay? Para mas madaling matandaan, guys. Okay? How about this one? Baliktarin natin yung direction ng M. So, magiging negative M yan. So, magiging negative. So, sad, no? So, magkakaroon ng sad na effect dun sa material mo. So, yan yung tinatawag nating bending moment M. So, it is caused by the external loads that tend to bend the body about an axis lying within the plane of the area. Okay? So, yung last na moment naman, ano namang pinagkaiba niyan doon sa bending moment M, which is itong P. Okay, check natin. So, kapag yung T naman ang i-apply natin as moment, so we can replace this T as ganito. No? Ito rin tinatawag nating double-headed vector. So, let's call it plus CCW or counterclockwise. Okay? So, yan ay positive. No? Mas matutunan nyo to kapag nag-undergo tayo sa mga susunod na lesson. Okay? Ito naman, double-headed arrow going to the left, considered as clockwise, no? Clockwise rotation, so negative po yan. So, ang effect ng dalawang moments na yan is tinatawag nating torsional moment. So, this effect is developed when the external loads tend to twist or rotate the segment of the body. So, kindly imagine kung ano ba yung ginagawa nyo kapag nagpipiga kayo ng towel, no, or yung tuwalya. Di ba? Nagkakaroon ng twisting. So, ibig sabihin, ganun din yung same effect kapag nag-apply tayo ng moment with respect to that axis. So, twisting naman, no? Twisting naman yung effect niya. And take note, kaya meron tayong mga double-headed arrows na yan. So, galing po yan sa right-hand rule. So, hopefully, na-encounter nyo na yan sa physics nyo. Okay? So, yan yung introduction to mechanics. So, the first lesson talaga na may encounter natin is the normal stress. So, take note guys, no? Kapag, kindly imagine kapag yung mga structure natin na tinatamaan ng iba't ibang forces, no? Or iba't ibang effects, forces, moments, so nai-stress po yung structure natin. So, dyan magsisimula yung concept ng mechanics of deformable bodies. So, ngayon, ano ba yung stress muna at the first place? Okay, so when you say stress, it is the intensity of internal force. So, for example, meron kang bar dyan, no? Again, kapag nag-a-analyze tayo ng stress, guys, kailangan nating, okay, so sabi natin meron tayong force F dyan. So, sabi dito, to expose the internal force acting on the plane, use method of sections. Again, magka-cut tayo ng section. Tulad ng ginawa natin kanina. So, kapag magka-cut tayo ng section, para makita natin yung internal force. So, somewhere here, dito sa bar mo, so let's say, dyan ka mag-cut, then consider natin yung downward, kasi pwede ka mag-consider upward or downward, pero in this case, itong downward muna, itong lower part, para ma-consider natin tong F. Okay? So, duplicate lang natin. So, nag-apply tayo ng external force F. Okay? Then, mag-cut tayo ng section. So, ngayon, ito ang kailangan nating isipin, guys. Ang konsepto dyan is, kapag ba nag-apply tayo ng force F, knowing na itong force F na yan ay tensile. Tama? Tensile force F yan kasi palayo yan sa section eh. So, kapag hinila ba natin yung material, ano magiging reaction niya? Okay? Ano yung magiging internal effect niya? So, ganito po siya, guys. May stress yung area nyo. Okay? So, kunyari, hinihila nyo yung material nyo, may stress yung somewhere here, no? Somewhere section dyan. Okay? So, since nai-stress yan, madidistribute yan with respect to your cross-sectional area. So, that is what we call sigma. Okay? So, ano yung sigma, sir? So, take note, di ba kanina yung normal force, na yung normal force is perpendicular with respect to your area. Ganon din kasi yung effect dito. So, itong force F, naka-perpendicular yan with respect to your cross-sectional area. So, syempre, yung magiging intensity of internal force mo is magiging perpendicular din po yan. Okay? Na kapag niresolve mo yan, yung mga internal force or yung intensity of internal force, magiging resultant. No? So, sabi natin resultant P. Na take note, naka-perpendicular din yan. Okay? Then, since itong P na yan, i-isometric natin para mas madali, no? Para mas makita nyo. So, nag-apply tayo ng force F perpendicular with respect to your cross-sectional area. Therefore, madidistribute yung stress, no? May stress yung cross-section na kapag na-resolve mo yan, magiging force P. And take note, considering normal stress, guys, okay? So, when the loading is uniform, its resultant passes through the centroid of the cross-sectional area. Okay? So, kung mapapansin nyo, pantay-pantay yung mga intensity dyan. Ibig sabihin, ang first assumption natin kapag nag-a-analyze tayo ng stress is dapat uniform. Kasi ito ay tumatama dun sa centroid ng cross-sectional area. And since rectangular to, we can safely assume na yung centroid ng rectangular ay nasa gitna at dun tumatama yung resultant force P and same with force F. So, same sila ng line of action. Okay? Na kapag nag-centroidal yung force mo, uniform naman yung stress. Okay? So, hopefully, nasundan yung part na yan. So, i-discuss pa natin. So, itong P, tinatawag na axial force. So, other word yan for normal force. So, yung normal kanina. Okay. Na take note, kapag normal force or axial force, tumatama sa centroid. Okay? And this is perpendicular with respect to cross-sectional area. Okay? Then, itong sigma, so, that is the normal stress. Okay? Then, ito naman, itong area, syempre, yan yung cross-sectional area A. And take note, to solve the forces, so in this case, summation of forces along vertical. Therefore, kung ano yung hinila ng F, in this case, ito rin ay equal to P. So, F is equal to P. Okay? So, to solve for the normal stress, ito yung general formula talaga, guys. So, to solve for the stress, we have the force over area. So, pag normal stress muna, guys, we have the normal force P over the cross-sectional area A. Okay? Then, unit analysis tayo. So, kapag force, we have the Newton. Then, kapag English naman, we have the pounds. So, ito ay SI or metric. Ito naman ay English. Then, for area, pwede ring square millimeters in SI and square inches for English. And take note, guys, ito yung pinaka-critical pagdating sa unit analysis ng stresses and forces. Okay? So, ito naman, megapascals and PSI. So, megapascals for metric, PSI naman for English. So, again, ito yung take note. So, ang equivalent ng megapascal, guys, na stress is equal to the Newton na force and square millimeters na area. Then, kapag gigapascal naman, dapat yung force nyo naka-kilonewton over square millimeters. Pero kapag pascals naman ang goal nyo, so dapat yung force nyo naka-newton, pero yung area nyo naka-square meters. Then kapag kilopascals naman, guys, so dapat yan ay kilonewton over square meters. So that is for metric, no? How about English? So pag sinabing PSI, no? So that means pound per square inch. No, PSI, pound per square inch. Then how about KSI? That is kilopounds per square inch. Okay? So yan yung mahalagang matandaan nyo kapag nagsosolve kayo ng stresses. So that is for normal stress. So let's solve problem number 1. So for problem number 1, so, if the 600 kilonewton force acts through the centroid of the cross-section, determine Y bar and the normal stress developed over the given area. So, let's say ito yung figure nyo, guys. Okay, bago natin isolve yan, observe natin yung figure. Kung mapapansin nyo, meron na tayong given na force which is 600 kilonewton. Okay? Then, take note, it acts through the centroid. So, automatic, kapag yung force tumatama dun sa centroid, at kung mapapansin nyo naman, ito ay vertical, and with respect to your cross-sectional area, yan ay naka-perpendicular. Therefore, normal stress ang madedevelop dyan. So, therefore, ito yung magiging force F nyo, yung external. Tama po ba? Kasi tumama siya sa centroid, kaya ito ay y bar. Okay? So, based on your statics, di ba, kapag y bar, so centroid along y. Okay? So, kailangan natin masolve yan. Itong y bar, pati yung normal stress na nade-develop, which is sigma. Sir, ang dali lang naman yan. O, sige, solve natin. Okay? So, sige, para mas maipakita natin, yan ay poste, no? O, i-side view lang natin or elevation view para mas ma-appreciate nyo. So, ito yung tumatama nating 600 kN. And take note, tumama daw siya dyan sa location ng centroid. Okay? Then again, para mas ma-expose natin, ano ba yung magiging internal reaction, no? Or internal effect ng poste na yan nung in-applyan siya ng 600 kN. O take note, itong 600 kN yan ay compressive, no? So, compressive force yan. So, sige, analyze natin by using yung common method of section. So, kahit saan dyan sa poste nyo, mag-cut ka ng section. Okay, so take note, yan pala ay naka-perpendicular. So, mag-cut ka ng section. So, somewhere there, no? Sa poste nyo na yan. Then, sige, mabilisan na lang, guys. Kapag in-apply nyo ng 600 kN yung poste nyo, and to maintain the equilibrium, ano magiging internal reaction ng poste? So, matik, magko-compress din yan, upward, no? And take note, itong two forces na yan, itong external pati internal, yan ay the same line of action, o same axis sila. Kasi ibang usapan kapag different axis yan, no? Sa mga susunod na topic po yan. Okay? Then, summation forces along vertical, kung 600 yan, yung downward mo, therefore, 600 kN din yung magiging internal effect. Okay? So, take note, naka-perpendicular din yan. O, solve muna natin yung y bar. So, solving for y bar. So, kung naalala nyo pa to, no, y bar is equal to summation of ay over the total area. So, that is the last topic, no? One of the last topics pagdating sa statics of rigid bodies. So ngayon, sir, paano natin ilo-locate yung y bar? O check muna natin, ano ba yung area na involved dyan? So, di ba trapezoid? Kung titingin ka sa top view, based on the orientation of the figure, so may mga given namang dimensions dyan. Eh sir, so ibig sabihin po ba, kailangan natin isolve yung centroid ng trapezoid? Yes, kailangan. Pero, in reality, medyo mahirap isolve directly yung centroid ng trapezoid. So, ang goal natin, kapag medyo complicated yung shape, kailangan nating i-divide yan into common geometric shapes, such as rectangle, triangle, circle. No? Kasi yun yung mga mas madadaling i-locate yung centroid. Okay? So, sabihin natin dyan yung tumama yung 600 kN nyo, and make the advantage, no, or take the advantage na yung shape natin is symmetrical, no, with respect to y-axis. So, when you say symmetrical, equal yung left, okay, equal yung right. So, automatic, pwede nyo nang hatiin yan. Okay, pa-vertical. Pero pag pa-horizontal, hindi pwede, no, kasi iba yung area dyan, iba yung area din dito. Okay, so, depende po dyan sa approach. Next, so hatiin na natin. So, kung nasa sa inyo kung paano nyo siya hahatiin. Pero para mas madali na lang, pwede nyo siyang hatiin into ilang triangle ba yan? So, we have first triangle and second triangle, no? At kung mapapansin nyo, based on its symmetry, equal yung triangle dito sa left, equal din yung triangle sa right. And then, the last shape will be the rectangle sa center part. Okay? So, kung naalala nyo pa yung pagkuha ng centroid, no? At base dito sa y-bar, naka-base siya dun sa longer base. Okay? So, locate muna natin yung centroid, no? Centroid ng bawat shape. So, itong centroid ng 1 na triangle, same din sa centroid ng triangle dito sa right. Then, yung centroid naman ng rectangle, sabihin natin nandyan, no? And then, ito yung magiging reference axis natin. Kasi dito, itong y bar na yan, naka-reference dito sa long base. So, ito rin po yun. No? Ito rin po yan. Okay? Then, gawa na natin ng axis, yung centroid nyo. So, that is the y bar. So, ngayon, ito na yung y bar. Okay? Yung area total, gets na natin yan kasi summation of total areas lang naman yan. Then, ito namang A, alam na natin yan. So, area of each shape. Then, itong Y, take note, when you say Y, yan yung centroid ng bawat shape, no? Triangle and rectangle, based dun sa reference axis mo. So, let's say yung triangle nyo, so, same location lang naman yan. So, that is Y1. Let's call it Y1. And ito namang rectangle, so that is Y2, no? And para mas mapabilis yung computation natin, edi gawa natin ng table. So, we have the two shapes. So, pag-isahin na natin yung triangle, guys. So, we have 1 and 2. The area in terms of square millimeters. Then, yung y in terms of distance, mm. Then, kapag minultiply natin, a times y, so magiging cubic millimeters. So, sige, let's solve. So, yung area 1, guys, no, area ng triangle. Kung mapapansin nyo dito, ito yung area 1. Okay? So, area ng triangle po yan. We have 1/2 base times height. So, dapat elementary pa lang, alam nyo na yan. No? So, 1/2 base times height. So, ang base natin, sabihin natin itong 300. Then, yung height, or baliktarin lang natin, yung 80. So, ito yung base, pwede rin itong base. Then, yung height. Okay? So, base times height, 80 times 300 times 1/2. Okay? So, kapag napanood nyo itong lecture na to, so make sure dala nyo yung calculators nyo para mas mabilis. So, we have 1/2 base times height. Kaso may isa pang triangle sa kabila. So, times 2. So, 1/2 times 80 times 300 times 2. So, makakancel yung 1/2 pati 2. Tama po ba? So, magiging 80 times 300 na lang. So, we have this 24,000. Then, itong 2, yung rectangle naman natin. So, kung mapapansin nyo, ang base ng rectangle na to, which is ito. Okay? Ito po yun. Itong dalawang 60. So, dalawang 60, 120 times the height is 300. So, 120 times 300, that is 36,000. Okay? Next. So, for the total muna pala, total area. So, pag-plus nyo lang yan, so magiging 60,000. Then, how about y? So, yung y naman, guys, kung mapapansin nyo, so, kung naalala nyo, doon sa centroid ng mga shapes, no? Kapag triangle, di ba, 1/3, 2/3. So, kung papansin nyo, ito yung takong, ito yung heel, ito yung toe. No? Okay? So, kapag sa heel, ito yon. So, yan yung 1/3. Sa toe, 2/3. So, 1/3 of the total height will be the y1. Ito yung 1/3. So, 1/3 po yan. No? So, 1/3 ng 300. So, we have this 100. Okay? Then, yung y2, automatic kapag rectangle, 1/2 lang naman po yan. So, 1/2 ng 300. So, sige, sabihin natin ito. Itong y2, yan ay 1/2. So, that is 150. Then, multiply natin yung a and y. So, 24,000 times 100, that is 2.4 times 10 raised to 6. So, in your calculators, pwede nyo gamitin yung function na eng, no? Shift eng. Yan, mga ganyan. I-discover nyo na lang, guys. So, yung 36,000 times 150, so magiging 5.4 times 10 raised to 6. So, kapag lumalaki kasi yung number, guys, nakakatamad naman kasi siyang isulat lahat. So, pwede nating gamitin yung purpose ng scientific notation. Okay? So, since kailangan natin ng summation of AY, the total ng AY po yan. So, 2.4 plus 5.4 times 10 raised to 6, yan ay 7.8 times 10 raised to 6. So, ang goal natin is this one, itong Y bar. So, to solve for y bar is equal to summation of ay over at. So, ito yung summation of ay natin. Then, ito naman yung the total area. So, to solve that, guys, so divide lang natin. So, 7.8 times 10 raised to 6 over 60,000. So, is equal to 130 millimeters. Okay? So, that is the Y bar, the value of Y bar. So, how about normal stress? So, since normal stress, sigma, no? Sigma, it is denoted as sigma is equal to P over A. So, based dun sa orientation kanina, ito yung F natin, tama ba? F is equal to 600 kilonewton. Then, ito naman is P, is 600 kilonewton din, no? So, automatic, substitute na lang din natin. Okay? So, we have the P, 600. So, in terms of stresses, guys, gawin lang muna natin itong mega pascals. Ang goal natin na unit ay in terms of megapascal. So again, para mag-result ka ng megapascal, dapat yung force nyo ay maging newton. Then ito naman, yung area nyo maging square millimeters. Okay? Kaya natin multiply ng 1,000 kasi yung 600 nyo po ay in terms of kilonewton pa. Okay? So, para lang maging maayos yung solution natin. So, madalas, gawin nating megapascal. So, we have the force 600 kilonewton and to convert it to newton, i-multiply natin ng 1,000. So, naka-highlight po yan. Over the area. So, ano ba yung area ng trapezoid? So, kindly recall, this is area of trapezoid is equal to 1/2. So, base 1 plus base 2. So, depende sa trip nyo. Kung ano yung base 1 nyo, shorter ba or longer. Basta, commutative naman yan. Okay? So, base 1 plus base 2 times height. So, yung base 1 natin, let's call it shorter base. So, yung shorter base natin is 60 plus 60. So, ito po yun, 120. Then, yung longer base natin, so, pag-add natin lahat to. So, 80 plus 60. So, 140. So, same din, symmetrical kasi. So, times 2 na lang natin. So, we have 280. Then, the height is 300. Okay? Nakapag in-input nyo yan sa calculators nyo, so, we have 10 Newton over square millimeters. Okay? Na ito ay equivalent din sa 10 megapascals. Okay? So, that is for problem number 1. Okay? So, hopefully, nagets nyo yung concept dito. So, sige. Let's proceed to problem number 2. Okay. So, for problem number 2, determine the largest weight, W, that can be supported by the two wires AB and AC. So, the working stresses are 100 megapascals for AB and 150 megapascals for AC. So, the cross-sectional areas of AB and AC are 400 square millimeters and 200 square millimeters respectively. Sir, parang ibang-iba po yan sa problem number 1 ah. O, tama po, no? So, ipapakita natin yung iba't ibang or different nature of problems. But, again, we will follow the same concept. Ang goal natin kapag nag-a-analyze tayo ng stress, kailangan natin mag-cut ng section para makita natin yung internal effect ng material. So, ang kwento dito guys, kailangan natin ma-solve yung pwede nating ilagay na maximum value ng W in order para ma-support siya ng dalawang wires. So, ibig sabihin, para ma-support siya ng dalawang wires, dapat yung dalawang wire mo hindi magbe-break, okay? Hindi masisira. So, ganun yung concept ng strength of materials. We need to solve for the limiting values or limiting magnitudes or maximum or minimum magnitudes, okay? Para ma-design natin yung structure. Okay? Kasi ini-ensure natin yung safety. So, the working stresses, 100 and 150. And for the area, 400, 200. Okay? So, paano natin masosolve yan? Kasi yung weight is a downward force. So, in that case, kailangan natin ma-analyze yung effect niya pagdating sa wires. Okay? So, kung mapapansin nyo, gawa tayo ng, mag-cut kayo ng section sa lahat ng mga wires dyan. So, ganito po yung analysis dyan. Okay? So, method of section, mapapansin nyo, cut nyo dyan, cut nyo rin dyan. So, ngayon, ano ba yung mga force na nalalabas dyan? So, for W, okay, so dyan yung joint A. So, sabihin natin yan yung intersection. So, that is downward W. So, take note, yung weight laging pababa yan. Then, syempre, since wires yan or in nature, pagdating sa cables, no? So, para hindi bumagsak yan, yung system mo, due to largest weight W, so, dapat magre-react po yan palayo, no? So, that is tensile force. So, that is force AC. So, let's call it PAC. Then, same with force AB. So, paano natin solve yung mga forces na yun, guys? So, eto, babalikan natin yung first topic ng statics nyo. So, this is an example of concurrent force system. So, in order to solve the forces under the concurrent force system, so we have to get the summation of all forces along horizontal and along vertical. Kapag 2D, no? Pero kapag 3D, syempre may along Z. XYZ na yan. So, tayo, XY lang muna. Okay? So, sige, solve natin. Ano ba pwede natin masolve dyan? So, summation of forces along horizontal muna. So, syempre yung positive going to the right. So, we have negative PAB cosine of 30. Kasi ito, pwede nyo i-break yan into components. So, ito yung AB. Ito naman yung vertical ng AB. Same with AC. Ganito din yan. So, papunta naman yung horizontal dito. So, we have negative PAB. So, dating gawi, cosine of 30 kasi with respect to horizontal. Then, plus yung horizontal component ng PAC, cosine of 45. O, syempre, hindi kasama yung W dyan. Kasi hindi naman horizontal si W. So, equal to 0. So, that is your equation number 1. O, sir, bakit siya equation number 1? Kasi wala ka namang na-solve. Okay? So, equation number 1. So, we have two unknowns in that equation. So, meron pa tayong isa. So, that is force or summation of forces along vertical equal to 0, upward positive. So, ano yung mga upward forces natin dyan or downward, no? So, starting with AB. Force AB times sine of 30 naman plus force AC sine of 45. So, minus downward W. So, tinranspose na lang natin to the right side of your equation. So, kapag nag-transpose kayo, mag-iiba na yung sign yan. So, plus na yung W dito. Okay? So, that is the equation number 2. So, sir, tatlo yung unknown natin sa second equation. Paano po yun? So, actually, you can solve those equations, no? Or we can solve these equations using the algebra. Kaso medyo mahaba po yun eh. So, kung na-encounter nyo na sa statics, okay, masasolve natin itong dalawang unknown muna. Itong force AB and force AC. And another tip pala guys, kapag nag-establish kayo ng equation, no, dapat i-align nyo na parehas po yan. Hindi yung force AB dito, tapos force AC dito. So, mahirap po yan, no? Gawin nyo ng force AB para maayos kaagad yung equation nyo. Kasi gagamit tayo ng calculator technique. So, instead of itong W, gawin muna nating 1. Yun ang tip dun eh. Okay? Instead of using algebra, pwede nyo namang gawin yun, long method nga lang, pero ang shortcut dyan is, you can treat this W equal to 1. So, using your mode 5.1, I think that is mode 5.1, no? Using your Casio or Canon calculators. So, i-discover nyo na lang. So, you can treat or you can note that W is equal to 1 muna. Okay, sir, bakit natin equal to 1 yan? Para hindi natin magalaw yung value ng W. Para as is, no? 1 pa rin yan. Na kapag any number or any variable na kapag minultiply mo sa 1 or dinivide mo sa 1, still the same. Okay, walang pagbabago. Yun nga lang, kapag niresolve mo na tong force AB and force AC, magiging in terms of W. So kapag nag-calculator kayo, calculator technique, please involve the numerical values. So for example, sa equation number 1, so sa first column, we have negative cosine of 30. Then second column, plus cosine of 45. So please include the signs. Then for the constant, 0. Then for the second equation, so sa second column or second row, first column, so we have positive sine of 30 plus sine of 45. Then instead of W, ang ipakita nyo, equal to 1. Gawin yung 1. Okay? So unang equal nyo dyan, ang lalabas is 0.7321. Pero syempre, naka times 1 kasi yan. Pero yung 1 na yan, yan ay W. Okay? Kasi ang goal natin, ma-design natin yung mga forces ng wires in terms of W. So, syempre, unang lalabas, 0.7321, kasi yan ay designated for the first unknown. Okay? Then, for force AC, we have 0.8966W. Okay? So, sige, let's design for wire AB muna. So, kung papansin nyo, when you say working stresses, ang ibig sabihin po kasi niyan, yan yung capacity ni AB and AC. So, ibig sabihin, hanggang 100 megapascals lang yung kaya ni AB. Ang kaya naman ni AC ay hanggang 150 megapascals. Okay? So, take note, applying the concept of normal stress. Okay? So, we have stress or sigma is equal to P over A. So, ang magiging working stress natin for AB, so that is 100 A. Then, yung force ni AB, that is 0.7321 of W over 400. O, take note naka-respectively yan. 400 for AB. So, kapag sinolve niyo yung W, may makukuha ka dyan na 54,637.3446 newtons. Okay? O sir, yan ay for AB lang. E paano naman yung kay AC? Okay? So same concept din. So stress is equal to P over A. So we have 150 naman for AC is equal to, ito naman, so 0.8966 W over 200. Na kapag sinolve nyo yan, we have the W is equal to 33,459.7368 newtons. Okay? So, mini-maintain lang natin yung 4 decimal, no? For more accuracy. Okay? So, sir, we have 2 values of W. So, ano sagot dyan? Eh, sir, pag largest weight W, automatic, itong 54. Okay, yun ba yung sagot, guys? Kapag tinatanong largest, largest magnitude kaagad. Take note, ano ba yung subject natin? Strength of materials. So, we need to consider the safety of your material based on its capacity. Ang ibig sabihin kasi nito guys, yung nakuha nating 54,000 kay AB, yan yung kaya niyang dalhin na weight, no? How about kay AC? Ang kaya niya lang dalhin ay 33. So kindly imagine itong 54, in-apply mo dito sa W. Ang tanong, may masisira ba dyan? Okay, kay AB, wala. Kasi dyan mo binise, dyan mo dinesign. Pero kay AC, syempre, magbe-break po yan. Magkakaroon pa ng failure po dyan. Kasi, in-apply mo 54, pero ang kaya lang ni AC ay 33. Okay, so hopefully, nagets nyo yung concept doon. No? Eh, paano naman sir kung 33 ang in-apply natin? Kaya ba ni AC yan? Yes, kasi dyan mo dinesign eh. Ang tanong, kaya ba ni AB yan? Yes, mas lalong kayang-kaya ni AB yan kasi ang capacity pa ni AB ay hanggang 54. Therefore, the largest weight, W, na kayang suportahan ng dalawang wires na yan without breaking or without the failure is this one. Okay? So, the largest weight must be 33,459.7368. Dapat hindi na aangat dyan. Kasi kapag umangat pa dyan yung weight, mag-i-start na mag-break yung force or yung wire AC. Okay? So, that is the safest weight W. Okay? So, hopefully, nasundan yung part na yan. Okay? So, next, let's solve problem number 3. O, paliparin muna natin yan, no? So, problem number 3. So, find the maximum allowable value of P for the column. So, the cross-sectional areas and working stresses are shown in the figure. So, in this case naman, guys, sir, nag-iba na naman yung problem, no? O kahit mag-iba yung nature ng problem, same pa rin yung concept. Kasi sa problem na to, ilang materials nang involved. We have the steel, we have the timber, we have the concrete. So, tatlong materials, iba-iba ng area, iba-iba rin ng working stresses. Okay? And kung mapapansin nyo, instead of exact values, no, naka in terms of P, yung mga external forces natin. So, let's solve, no, kung ano ba yung kayang ilagay natin na P dyan para walang magbe-break na material. So, ganun pa rin. So, by cutting the section, no, but since tatlong material na yan, magka-cut na tayo in every material. Kasi iba-ibang effect niyan. So, para mag-cut tayo ng section, so simulan natin sa steel, sa taas, papuntang baba. Kasi kung sa baba tayo mag-start, guys, medyo mahihirapan po tayo. Kasi for example, nag-cut ka dito, no? Kinonsider mo yung baba, wala ka namang makukuha dyan. Okay? Kapag kinonsider mo naman yung taas, ay medyo marami ka pang i-consider kasi may 4P, may P, may 2P. O, start natin sa taas para mas madali. Okay? O, cut tayo ng section, consider the upper part, no, of your steel. So, ngayon, ang makikita lang natin dito, guys, is this compressive. Take note of the orientation, ha? Compressive of 2P. No? So, kapag nag-apply ka ng compressive 2P, ano magiging reaction ng steel to maintain the equilibrium? O, syempre, compressive din na 2P. No? Upward naman. No? So, let's design now. No? Design for steel. Applying the same concept, stress is equal to P over A. Ang working stress ni steel ay 120 megapascals. Okay? Then, ang force ni steel is 2P. So, substitute natin dyan, 2P over 500. Okay? Nakapag sinolve nyo yung P dyan, magiging 30,000 newtons. So, sir, bakit po ulit newtons yan? Take note, yung 120 natin ay naka megapascals. Okay? Then, ito naman ay naka square millimeter. Na dapat ang magiging force nyo dyan, magiging newton. Okay? So, please master, no, the concept of unit analysis. So, 30,000 newtons for steel. How about timber? Okay, for timber, cut tayo sa section timber. So, considering upper ulit for consistency rather. So, magiging upward P naman yan. So, sir, bakit po siya upward P? So, meron kang a total of downward 2P. Then, may kumontrang upward na isa lang. O, syempre, to maintain the equilibrium, tutulong ngayon si timber. Okay, upward ulit. Upward P. So, we have designed for timber. So, same concept. Normal stress is equal to P over A. So, we have 12. So, ito ay 12 megapascals is equal to P. No? P lang yung kay timber over 2,000. So, makukuha nyo, we have 24,000 newtons. Okay? Next, how about concrete? So, for concrete naman, edi mag-cut ka ulit ng section dyan, considering the upper section na para ma-consistency lang yung solution natin. So, magiging upward 5 yan. Sir, ang bilis nyo namang masolve yan. O, mata-matahin lang natin. So, considering the upward section, guys, meron kang downward 2P. Okay, ano pa yung mga downward dyan? Ito, kita na yung downward 4P. So, a total of 6P. Tama po ba? Para ma-maintain natin equilibrium, may kumontra na isang P. Okay? So, isang P lang, plus syempre, ano yung magiging reaction concrete? E di magiging plus 5P. Okay? So, sige, let's design for concrete. So, ganun pa rin, no? Walang sawang P over A yan. So, 16 is, okay, 16 megapascals po yung working stress natin dyan. Is equal to 5P, which is the internal effect dun sa concrete, over 8,000. So, masasolve po dyan is P is equal to 25,600 newtons. So, sir, meron tayong 3 values of P or 3 different values of P. Ano yung magiging maximum po dyan? Sir, automatic 30,000. O, ang tanong, tama po ba yun? Siyempre, mali. O, take note ha, tulad kanina sa problem number 2. When you say maximum, it doesn't necessarily mean na automatic larger value ang kailangan mo i-consider. Again, we are engineers, guys. We need to ensure the safety of our structure. So, ibig sabihin lang nito, guys, 30,000 Newton ang kaya ni steel, 24,000 Newton ang kaya ni timber, and 25,600 Newton ang kaya ni concrete. So, syempre, ang pinaka-safe dyan is yung maliit. No? So, ito yung magiging allowable value of P. No? 24,000. In order na walang magbe-break sa 3 materials na to. Okay? So, for example lang, i-clarify lang natin. Kapag nag-apply ka kasi ng 30,000 newtons dyan, automatic kaya ni steel. Pero magbe-break na si timber, masisira na rin si concrete. Okay? Kapag in-apply nyo naman yung 25,600, yes, kaya ni concrete. Kaya rin ni steel. Pero ang tanong, kaya ba ni timber? Hindi, kasi 24 lang yung kaya niya. Eh kung in-apply natin yung 24, automatic kaya ni timber. Kaya rin yan ni concrete. And kaya rin yan ni steel. So that is the safest force P. Okay? So in this kind of situation, guys, no, dito natin matutunan kung ano ba yung concept ni normal stress na kapag dinesign natin yung material or structure. Okay? So I prepared 5 problems, no, for the normal stress. So tiyagayin lang natin, guys, para mas tumatak sa inyo. Okay, next. How about this one? Problem number 4. Okay? So, hinahanap naman dyan, determine the smallest safe cross-sectional areas. O yan, para maiba naman, area naman. So, ito yung structure natin. O, para maiba, truss. Okay? So, determine the smallest safe cross-sectional areas of members CE, BE, and EF. So, kung titingnan natin, guys, kung i-observe lang natin muna yung problem, ang kailangan natin ma-solve is itong CE, ano pa? BE. Ito. BE and EF. Okay? So, given yung working stresses ulit, yung capacity nila, 20 KSI or kilopound per square inch kapag tension yung member. Iba naman, 14 KSI in compression. Okay? So, compression. So, sabi dito, the working stress in compression is smaller to reduce the danger of buckling. So, bakit mas mababa yung working stress pagdating sa compression? So, for additional information, guys, so kapag nagde-design tayo, ganito kasi yung tinatawag na buckling o yung mga buckling dyan, no? Okay. So, ito po, guys, no? So, kindly imagine a column structure na kapag nag-apply ka ng compression, no? Compression force, no? Okay. So, sige. Compression natin dyan. Okay. So, magkakaroon niya ng iba't ibang klaseng failure. So, when you say buckling, so with respect to your original axis, so para magkakaroon siya ng magde-deflect, kumbaga, no? Magde-deflect dito, either pa ganitong way, o di kaya dito. Okay? So, yan yung buckling. Ito yung example, guys, sa reinforced concrete structure nyo. Kapag sobrang lakas na ng force. So, same case dito, Pagdating naman sa compression naman, so possible din na mabuntis, no? Yan yung tinatawag na mabuntis. Okay? Pagdating sa site, no? So nabuntis nga, okay? So from the original size, nagkaroon ng larger effect dito. So nagkaroon ng pagbuntis. Then pagdating naman sa shear, so kung mapapansin nyo, nagkaroon ng diagonal failure. So ito po yun, ito yung diagonal dyan. Okay? So at least ma-expose kayo, no? Malaman nyo na kagad yung, or ma-imagine nyo kung paano mag-fail yung structure kapag excessive na yung force. No? Sige, let's solve. O, paano ba mag-solve ng truss? O, based on your statics of rigid bodies, so paano ba natin sinusolve yung trusses, no? So, meron tayong two methods. So, we have method of joints or method of sections. So, since ang kailangan natin mahanap guys, itong CE, itong BE, itong EF. Okay? Kung magjo-joins ka dyan guys, medyo matagal-tagal, mahaba-haba. No? Tatagal ka sa solution mo. Pero kapag nasa gitna yung mga members mo at sobrang dami niyan, kailangan mo nang gumamit ng method of sections. So, ganun pa rin yung concept. Di ba? Magkakat tayo ng section to expose the internal forces, no, acting on your material. So in this case, so since para mas mabilis, ikat na natin yung BE and EF. So the rule lang pagdating sa method of section sa truss, you need to cut at least 3 members. Okay, para mas mabilis yung solution mo. So sabi natin dito tayo mag-cut. So considering the right section. Sir, bakit right section yung kinonsider mo, hindi po yung left? Kasi kapag left section pa yung consider natin, pwede naman. Kaso, isasolve mo pa yung reaction. So, para mabawasan na yung solution natin, yung right na lang. Kasi mas mabilis yan. No? Hindi na natin isasolve yung reaction. O sabihin natin, isasolve muna natin yung EF. I think EF ata to. No? So, depende naman yan guys. Pwedeng BE, yung una yung isolve, o yung CE. So, discarte nyo yan. No? So, malaya kayong gawin dyan. O, sabi natin EF muna. By the way, expose muna pala natin yung internal forces. So, kapag nag-expose kayo ng internal forces, ang rule natin sa statics of rigid bodies is, first, we need to assume muna na yung force ay acting tensile or palayo or tension force. Okay? So, that is force BC. Ito naman, force BE. Ito naman, force EF. Okay? So, let's solve, no, for the member EF. Check natin kung yung force ba na EF ay tensile or compressive. So, sabi dito, ano kayong diskarte dyan? So, ang goal natin guys, masolve tong force EF. But after we cut the sections, no, do sa gitna, may lumabas na tatlong unknown. Force EF, force BE, force BC. Since ang goal natin makuha yung force EF, dapat ma-eliminate natin yung force BE and force BC. O ito, tip, para mas mabilis. Ano yung common letter ni BE and ni BC? Diba ang common letter nila ay letter B. So, ibig sabihin, with respect to that common letter B, dun sila magmi-meet, no? Dun sila mag-i-intersect. So, mag-i-intersect sila at joint B. So, in that way, ang mabilis na solution para ma-eliminate yung dalawang force na yan is mag-moment ka sa B is equal to 0. Okay, so hopefully masundan yung technique na yan, no? So, kapag nag-moment ka sa B, again, mai-eliminate yung force BE at force BC. Okay? So, solve natin. Sir, wala palang given na angle kasi naka-inclined po si force EF. O nga pala, no? Para natin solve yung angle niyan. So, instead of using angles, pwede natin gamitan ng slope. Okay? So, based on the dimension of your truss. Kasi ang given na dimension dito is in terms of right triangle. So, kung mapapansin nyo, meron tayong series of triangles dito. So, make sure na magamit nyo yung advantage ng right triangles or mga triangles, no? So, ito, may right triangle dito, 8, 8, 8, 18. So, 18, 24. So, take note, yung EF is along the hypotenuse. Therefore, if the slope of the hypotenuse of this triangle is equal to the slope of this force EF. Tama po ba? Okay? So, ngayon, paano natin solve yan? Along vertical, may 18 ka. Along horizontal, may 8 plus 8 plus 8, 24. So, 18 vertical, 24 horizontal. Na kapag sinimplify mo, may common factor sila na 6. So, therefore, ito ay magiging 3. Ito ay magiging 4. So, in that case, 3 yung vertical, 4 yung horizontal. Okay, so hopefully masundan nyo ulit yan, no? Kindly refresh your notes, no? Or your knowledge pagdating sa truss. So, 3, 4. Automatic, ang hypotenuse niyan, 3, 4, 5. Because that is an example of a perfect triangle. So, 3, 4, 5. So, you can use, instead of angles, so you can use slope, no? 3, 4, 5. Okay? So, since mag-moment tayo sa B, so, pwede nyong i-component to. Meron pa ganito. So, meron kang horizontal dyan. Meron kang vertical. Tama po ba? So, ibig sabihin kapag nag-moment ka sa B, kailangan mong ipaikutin to, itong horizontal component, pati yung vertical component. O, pwede naman po yun, guys. Paano meron pa tayong isang technique dyan? So, kung naalala nyo sa statics of rigid bodies, yung tinatawag nating law of transmissibility. Okay? So, when you say law of transmissibility, guys, or principle of transmissibility, you can transfer the force along to its line of action without changing the magnitude. Anong ibig sabihin nun, sir? So, ganito guys, para mas masimplify lang yung solution nyo, na instead of dito tayo sa joint E, magsimula, no, ng force nyo, pwede nyong ilipat sa F. Kasi dadaan din naman yan sa F. Tama po ba? Pero the same magnitude pa rin na force EF. So, hopefully, no, mastery nyo yung concept na yan. O, pwede natin ilipat yan. So, let's say force EF, then dyan ka mag-component, force EF horizontal, force EF vertical. Sir, bakit nyo pa po nilipat yan sa joint F? Kasi guys, kung ang goal natin is paikutin sa joint B, observe nyo to guys. Ang tanong, yung force vertical ba, may moment ba yan sa B? Take note, kapag yung force dadaan dun sa rotating point, automatic, wala po yung perpendicular distance. Okay? Therefore, makakancel po yung vertical. So, ibig sabihin, hindi mo na idadagdag yan. No? Ito na lang, yung force EF along horizontal. So, ang goal mo na lang is makuha yung distance nito from point F, okay, to B. So, ito po, no? So, ang goal natin yan. Hindi given po sa problem. Ganyan talaga, guys. Ganyan tayo magpa-problem, no? So, sir, paano po natin makukuha itong distance ni EFH? Sige, pakita ko muna yung equation. So, since ang rotation ng EF horizontal papunta kay B is clockwise. So, guys, ganito pala ha. Kung saan kayo sanay, no? So, kung sanay kayo ng clockwise positive, okay lang din. Kung sanay kayo ng counterclockwise positive, okay lang din. As long as you are consistent in using that concept, no? So, sige, since sanay kasi ako ng clockwise positive, so in terms of moment, so we have EFH papunta kay B, no? Kaso, kunin natin yung component, so we have 4 over 5. So, galing po yan dito sa slope, since horizontal is 4, then the hypotenuse is 5. Sir, paano po itong 12? Saan galing itong 12? So, ito po yung distance na yan, 12. So, sir, bakit po siya 12? Ayan. So, gagamitan natin yan ng mahiwagang similar right triangles. So, simulan natin to. Kunin na lang natin to, guys. Kunin na natin lahat. So, let's call it Y1 muna. So, considering this right triangle, okay, meron kang 8 meron kang y1, unknown. I-compare mo yan or equate mo yan dito sa right triangle din na similar din. Okay? Kasi parehas sila ng hypotenuse eh. Okay? Yung axis nila, same ng, yung hypotenuse nilang dalawa, same ng axis. So, we can conclude that as similar triangles. Okay? So, ganito po siya para mas mabilis. y1 is to 8. So, vertical is to horizontal is equal to vertical is to horizontal din, which is 18/24. So, kapag sinolve mo yung y1, that is equal to 6 feet. Okay? Same with y2. Ito naman yung y2. Itong malaking pangalawang triangle. Okay? So, para ma-sure natin na 12 talaga yan, so let's call it y2 muna. So, we have y2 is to 16 kasi yung horizontal natin 8 plus 8. No? Then, again, equal to 18/24. So, for y2 is equal to 12 feet. Okay? So, ayan, nasolve na natin, 12. No? Then, plus 30 times 8. So, itong isang 30 kilopounds, paikutin mo sa B clockwise. So, we have 8 feet. Then, same with 30. Na itong isang 30, papunta sa B. So, 8 plus 8 magiging 16. So, ang goal, para masolve natin yan, we have force EF is equal to 75 kilopounds. Take note naka-English po tayo. Kilopounds. Kaso sir, bakit siya nag-negative? So, kapag sinip-solve nyo po kasi yan, so ang lalabas based on this equation is negative. So, ibig sabihin lang guys, kapag nag-negative yung sagot nyo, kapag nagsasolve kayo ng TRAS, ibig sabihin, mali lang po yung first assumption. So, ang goal natin, kapag mali yung assumption natin, baliktarin natin yung direction. So, ibig sabihin, sa first assumption, nag-tensile tayo. So, baliktarin nyo lang. Gawin nyo lang compression. So, ganito po siya guys. Okay? So, 75 kilopounds compression. So, mahalaga po yung nature ng member, no? Kung mag-undergo ng tension or compression. So, palitan nyo na kaagad guys once na negative. So, mali na yan, mali na rin yan. Mali na rin yan, mali na rin yan. So, lahat ng naka-X mark dyan, baliktarin nyo. Okay? Yun ang ibig sabihin po nun guys. Okay? So, para mas makita nyo, gawin nating, ito. Yan, nakaganto na yan. Nakaganto na yan. Ganto na yan. Ganito na rin yan. Okay? So, since nag-compress, no? Nag-compress yung member EF, ang gagamitin nating working stress is this 14 KSI. So, applying the concept pa rin, normal stress equal to P over A. So, we have 14 is equal to 75 over the area. Kasi ang goal natin is cross-sectional area. So, kapag sinolve nyo yan, so ito ay kilopounds, itong force natin ay kilopounds, and sakto yung stress natin ay naka-KSI na. So, magiging area of EF must be equal to 5.3571 square inches. Okay? So, iba-iba na po sila ng area niyan, guys. No? Unlike do sa force kanina. Okay? Next, solving for member BE. Okay? So, to solve for member BE, meron naman tayong dalawang unknown. But since na-solve na natin yung EF, pwede na kayo mag-summation of, I think, vertical. So, kapag nag-summation of vertical ka na, meron ka ng EF, ito, meron ka ng 30 kips, etong BC, mawawala. No? Kasi hindi naman yan vertical eh. Okay? So, pwede nyo gawin yung ganong approach. Pero, bibigyan ko kayo ng another tip. How about gawin natin to? Okay? Make sure kailangan pa pala natin makuha yung slope ni BE. So, take note, yung inclination ni BE ay naka-reference dito sa triangle na to. Okay? So, hopefully nasundan pa, no? Okay? Ang side ng triangle na yan ay itong y1 is equal to 6. Okay? Ito naman ay equal to 8. So, 6, 8. Therefore, vertical nyo ay 3, horizontal nyo ay 4. So, again, 3, 4, 5 pa din yan. So, yan yung technique, guys, para mabilis. Hindi na kayo mag-angle-angle o arctan pa, no? Or arc sine or arc cosine, no? So, sige. Moment tayo sa D. Sir, bakit po tayo magmo-moment sa D? Kasi kung papansin nyo, guys, ang goal natin, we need to eliminate force BC and force EF. Kaso, sir, sabi nyo kanina, kailangan may common letter sila. So, another tip lang din yun, guys. Pero since ito naman, wala naman silang common letter, tignan nyo na lang kung saan sila mag-meet based dun sa orientation ng truss. Kung mapapansin nyo, si force BC dadaan yan kay D. Okay. Si force EF dadaan din kay D. Na kapag nag-moment ka dyan, mawawala si BC, mawawala si EF. Okay? So, eto na lang, force BE na lang. Ganun pala, sir. So, i-break na natin into component yan. So, may pa-horizontal ka dyan, meron kang pa-vertical. Sir, dalawang unknown, anong horizontal, vertical. How about gamitan natin ulit ng law of transmissibility? Okay? Transfer lang natin ulit. So, ito-transfer ko dito sa joint B. Okay, bakit sa joint B? Okay, pakita natin yung component, horizontal and vertical. Kasi guys, kapag tinransfer ko sa joint B, etong horizontal, mawawala na ng moment with respect to D. Kasi itong horizontal BE, dadaan din kay B. Okay? So, hopefully, nasundan yung part na yan. No? So, therefore, itong vertical na lang kailangan mong masolve. Okay? So, iikot yan kay D clockwise. So, considering the slope component, so that is 3 over 5. So, ito po yun. Times 16, so 8 plus 8. Okay? Minus 30 kips. Itong 30 kilopounds na yan. Iikot yan counterclockwise. So, we have perpendicular distance of 8. Kaso, itong isang 30 kilopounds, mawawala na rin. Kasi nga, tumama din siya sa point B. So, kapag sinolve niyo yung force BE, magkakaroon ka ng positive. So, pag sinabing positive, tama po yung assumption nyo. So, we have 25 kilopounds positive. So, that is tension. So, kapag tension, yung member nyo, ang i-consider mong working stress ay 20. So, please be careful, no? So, applying the concept of normal stress, so 20 is equal to 25 over the area of BE. So, kapag sinolve nyo yung area ng BE, we have 1.25 square inch. Okay? So ibig sabihin pala guys, kapag nagsasolve tayo ng strema or mechanics of deformable bodies, part lang po yung statics of rigid bodies. Okay? Na kapag di nyo alam mag-solve ng statics, talagang mahirapan po kayo guys. Kasi ang part lang ng strema dito, itong force over area eh. No? So, ang mahirap talagang na part dyan, yung statics. Okay? And last, for member CE. No? So, yung member CE, erase ko muna kasi medyo magulo na yung board natin. So, burahin ko muna to para mas makita natin. Ayan. Okay na yan. So, sige. Mabubura din pala, no? So, solving for member CE. Kung mapapansin nyo guys, since pag-cut natin ng section, hindi na isama yung 4CE. Hindi natin na-expose. So, ang technique dito, since yung orientation ng CE, pwede natin gamitan yan ng analysis at joint C. So, method of joints. Kasi bakit? So, ito po yun guys, no? So, mag-analyze ka at joint C. So, pakita mo yung mga forces involved. So, meron kang downward 30 kilopounds. Meron ka ring force, BC. Makikita mo rin dyan yung force, CD. Then, ngayon, since yung CE is a vertical member, therefore, automatic, vertical force lang po yan. Tama po ba? And since ano ba yung mga vertical force involved? 30 kilopounds lang naman na downward or compression, no? With respect to that joint. So, automatic, to maintain the equilibrium, magre-react yan upward. So, compression din na CE. So, therefore, summation of forces vertical, So, force of CE is equal to 30 kilopounds. Compression. Okay? So, same concept, applying the normal stress. So, since compression yan, so 14 is equal to 30 over area of CE. So, therefore, we have area of CE is equal to 2.1429 square inches. Okay? So, yan yung pag-solve ng problem number 4. Okay? So, let's go for our last problem. So, problem number 5. Excuse me. So, for problem number 5, so determine the mass of the heaviest uniform cylinder that can be supported in the position shown without exceeding a stress of 50 megapascals in cable BC. Neglect friction and the weight of bar AB. So the cross-sectional area of BC is 100 square millimeters. Sir, parang ang hirap naman yan. Parang ibang-ibang problem po yan. So medyo nag-upgrade, no? Nag-upgrade na yung nature of problem natin. But don't worry guys, same concept pa rin yan. Okay? Sige, solve na natin. So when you say mass guys, related po yan dun sa weight ng cylinder. Okay? So may papakita natin, no? Na kailangan masuportahan siya without exceeding a stress dun sa cable BC, which is ito yun, no? Cable BC. So, neglect friction and the weight of bar AB. Kaso, paano pag binanggit sa problem, consider the weight of the bar AB. Okay, ito po yun. Sige, pakita lang natin. So, since naka-inclined yan, check nyo lang yung center of gravity. So, we have the total length of L. So, L is equal to 10 meters. So, automatic, gawin lang natin red to guys. So, yung color to. So, automatic, dito yan sa 5 meters, no? Kapag may weight ng bar. O, kung sakali lang, no? Kung sakaling ipasolve yan or ipasama yan, so, yan yung magiging orientation ng weight ng bar. But since sabi, neglect, edi neglect natin, wala tayong isasamang weight. Okay? So, sige. So, the cross-sectional area of BC is 100 square millimeters. So, ang goal natin, kailangan nating ma-relate yung mass o yung bigat ng cylinder para ma-design natin yung cable BC. So, ganito guys, wag nyo siyang i-analyze ng buo, no? Tignan nyo kung ano ba yung mga forces involved kasi two materials ang kailangan dito, yung cylinder pati yung bar, no, na may cable. Okay, so start natin sa cylinder para mas mabilis. So analysis at the cylinder. So kapag in-isolate nyo yung free body diagram, ito pala guys, take note, lagi kayong gumawa ng free body diagram para maipakita nyo o yung maipakita nyo yung graphical representation ng force system, no? Okay? So let's say this is your cylinder, no? Then at the center of your cylinder, okay? Diyan mag-act po yung weight. Automatic downward po yan ha. O gawin mo na nating W. Kasi take note, yung mass, so nakarelate niya sa W is equal to mass times gravity. Pero in this case, gawin muna nating W. Okay? Ito ang pinaka concept dito guys, no, sa problem na to. Kung maalala nyo, pagdating sa statics of rigid bodies, pag merong point of contact, no, point of contact between two components or two materials, at that point, may magre-react na force, which is tinatawag nating normal force. Okay, kung naalala pa, at the point of contact between two components, may magre-react na force, which is tinatawag nating normal force with respect to the surface contact. No? Kung mapapansin nyo, dito sa orientation natin, merong point of contact dito, si cylinder, with respect to wall. Tama po ba? Then, meron ding point of contact dito si cylinder with respect to your bar. So in that case, merong normal forces na magre-react po dyan. Okay? Na dinagana ng W, syempre magre-react po yan. Yung wall pati yung bar nyo. So ito po yung points of contact. So automatic, that is R. So let's call it R na lang. So with respect to the surface, that is perpendicular. Okay? Same din dito kay normal force, no? So let's call it N. Now with respect to this surface, that is naka-perpendicular. Okay? So ngayon, sir, si R horizontal na to. Walang problema dyan. Si W vertical. Kaso itong normal force N, naka-inclined. Sir, wala naman pong binigay na angle. O yan, dyan na naman tayo magkakatalo guys. So kapag walang angle, gamitan nyo ng slope. Pero ito guys, medyo kung batak na kayo sa trigonometry, magigets nyo ito kagad. Pero sige, himay-himayin natin. Saan natin pagbabasihan yung inclination ni N? Okay? So syempre, dito sa inclination ni bar. So kung papansin nyo, doon sa inclination ni bar, meron tayong right triangle dyan. Tama po ba? Okay. So kapag may right triangle dyan, ano yung magiging orientation dyan or maging dimension? So along horizontal, meron kang 6. Base dito. Then along hypotenuse, meron kang 10. So 4 plus 6. Okay? So sige, isolate muna natin yan. Ayan. Kung mapapansin nyo, at this point, dito tumama yung force N. Sige, ipakita lang muna natin. Ito yung 6. Ito yung 10. Okay? So solving Pythagorean theorem na lang kasi given na yung 10, given na yung 6, automatic ito ay 8. Okay? So that is force N. So take note the concept din ng statics ha. Action, reaction. Etong direction ni N papunta sa cylinder. Pero kapag in-isolate mo naman with respect to your bar, mag-iiba na yung direction yan. Action, reaction, opposite direction. Okay? So, yan yung basic concept ng statics. So, ngayon, paano to naka-incline, sir? Ayan, medyo mahirap to guys ha. So, namnamin nyo muna. Okay? So, sige, solve natin. Ito ay naka-perpendicular, take note. No? So, mapapansin nyo, yung slope ng bar na yan, so, ginawa lang natin ng right triangle as representation. So, magiging 3, 4, 5. Okay? Kasi 6, 8, 10, lowest term mo divided by 2, 3, 4, 5. So, ibig sabihin, yung slope ng bar na to is 3, 4, 5. Ang tanong, ano naman tong N? O, sige, ganito guys. Let's say, meron tayong reference angle dyan na theta. Okay? So, kung yung reference angle na theta, ito rin po yan. Same lang din po yan dito. Gawin natin ibang kulay para mas makita nyo. Okay? So, gawin natin yellow. So, that is theta din. Theta or theta. Okay? So, gawa lang natin ng axis yung point of contact para makita natin yung right triangle ni N. No? So, kung ito ay theta angle, ano naman to? Okay? So, based on your trigonometry, kung ano yung angle dito, siya rin yung angle din dito. Tama po ba? Okay? And then, since ito ay perpendicular, yung natira dito is equal to, yan ay 90 degrees minus d theta. Okay? So, ito, naka 90 minus d theta, ito rin ay naka 90 degrees. So, therefore, ano naman itong natira? So, kapag sum of the interior angles nyo dyan is 180, so matitira ay yan din yung angle. Okay? So, sir, anong pinagkaiba nun? Anong difference niyan? So, kung ito na yung angle, guys, take note. Kung ito ay angle at katapat niya ay 4 or 8, dapat ito ring angle dito, ang katapat niya ay 4 or 8. So, ito po siya. So, kung mapapansin nyo guys, kapag merong perpendicular lines, no? Perpendicular lines, magkakaroon po yan ng reciprocal. Okay? Magbabaliktad po yan. So, in this case, 3, 4, 5 siya, pero baliktad. Kasi sa una, ang horizontal nyo ay 3. Pero pagdating kay normal force, naging 4. Ito na yung naging 3. Ito na yung naging 4. Pero same hypotenuse, 5. Okay? So, medyo practicing nyo yan, guys, kasi part din ng statics is yung trigo or analytic geometry. Okay? So, 3, 4, 5. So, ito po yan. O, at least nakita nyo na yung slope ng n. 3, 4, 5. No? So, to solve, summation of forces vertical. Sir, bakit po vertical? Okay, kasi wala tayong pakialam dito sa R. Kasi ang goal natin, masolve yung cable. No? Yung cable, nandun sa bar. Okay? So, ang kailangan natin yung N. Since yung N may component na along vertical, para makonsider natin yung weight, so therefore, ito po siya. So, negative W plus N times 3 over 5 as a vertical component slope is equal to 0. Okay, so we have two unknowns here. So, let's solve lang natin. So, magiging N is equal to 5/3 of W. Sir, bakit po siya naging 5/3 of W? So, yung negative W, transpose nyo dito, magiging positive W. Okay? Then, since may 3/5 ka dito, cross-multiply. O, di kaya, multiply 5/3 both sides. So, para mawala itong 3/5 dito. So, magiging 5. Then, yung sa baba naman, magiging over 3. Kasi maraming nalilito dyan, guys, no? Algebra lang yan, no? N is equal to 5/3 of W. Okay? Kasi ang goal nga natin, guys, i-relate natin, no? I-relate natin yung mass o yung W dun sa cable. So, therefore, dapat yung N maging in terms of W. Okay? Next, tuloy lang natin. Okay, so mag-analyze na tayo ngayon sa bar. So, ito na yung N natin, guys. Okay, papunta na siya sa bar. Is equal to 5/3 of W. And take note, naka-perpendicular. So, wala na yung cylinder dyan, guys, kasi nilipat na natin dun sa effect dun sa bar. And considering, again, this right triangle, ito yung 6, ito yung 8, ito yung 10. No? So, may 8 meters na dyan. Okay, wala pala yung problem, no? Okay, so analysis at the bar and the cable. So, take note, dito sa point A, merong pin connection. So, may makikita ka dyang, let's say, AV, vertical, then horizontal. So, nasa inyo na, guys, kung paano nyo i-assume, no, yung direction. Okay? Next, ano pa yung mga forces involved dun sa cable? Okay? Siyempre, ano ba yung property ng cable, guys? So, always tension. So, we can safely assume na yung cable nyo ay under tension. So, let's call it T. No? So, ang goal natin, guys, masolve yung T. So, para masolve yung T, in terms of W, kailangan natin mag-moment dito sa A. Kasi maraming unknown, kailangan natin tanggalin yan. So, summation of moment about point A. So, we have negative T. So, perpendicular distance. Ito yun. Ito yung 8 meters. Okay. So, counterclock. Papunta yan dito. So, we have negative T times 8 plus itong N na 5/3 W. Ang perpendicular distance niya papunta sa A. Ito po yun. So, sakto. Perpendicular na kasi yan. So, we have this 4 meters is equal to 0. Okay? Then we can now solve. So we have here 5 times 4. So we have 20 over 3 times W. Then transposing 8T. Okay? Then solve natin. 20 over 24. So yung 8 mapupunta dito. So 8 times 3. Then solving for T is equal to 5 over 6 of W. So ito, guys, lowest term lang, no? Divided by 4. So that is also equivalent to 5 over 6. Then pinagbaliktad ko lang. So we have T is equal to 5/6 over W. So since may binigay, no, ganun pa rin, working stresses pa rin to 50 megapascal, then area ulit na 100 square millimeters. Na instead, using directly yung T, pwede na natin gamitin yung in terms of W. At doon natin madidetermine yung mass. Okay? So applying the concept of normal stress is equal to P over A. So cross-multiply lang natin. So P is equal to stress times area. So yung force natin guys na P, yan yung tension, itong T. So ito na siya. So 5 over 6 W is equal to the stress na working stress capacity na 50 megapascal. Then ito ay the area. O take note yung unit analysis, megapascals, okay, is equal to Newton over mm squared. And sakto, ang binigay na sa'yo yung stress, naka-megapascal, then square millimeters yung area. Therefore, kapag sinolve yung W as the weight force, ang magiging unit niyan ay Newton. Okay? So we have the weight is equal to 6,000 newtons. Okay? Sir, ang kailangan po yung mass eh. O ano ba yung mass ulit with respect to your weight? O take note, weight is equal to mass times gravitational acceleration. So parang galing din yan sa concept na force is equal to mass times acceleration. But since weight force yan, downward kasi guys. So therefore, due to gravity. Okay? So ang weight natin is equal to 6,000 is equal to m times 9.81. Take note nasa Earth tayo. So 9.81 madalas natin gamitin. Guys, wag 9.8 ha. Pagdating sa strema, gamitin natin 9.81. Okay? So to solve for mass, we have 611.6208 kilograms. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, bakit may ganitong symbol? So, pinakita ko lang guys na dapat hindi na lalagpas ng 611.6208 kilogram yung mass natin. Kasi kapag nag-increase yan, gawin natin 612, 613, at mag-increase pa yan lalo, mag-start nang magbe-break yung cable BC nyo. Okay? So, sir, bakit po siya kilogram at the first place? Take note, conversion factor, pinakamahalaga. Okay? So, yan yung answer natin. So, take note lang, guys. 1 Newton is equal to 1 kilogram times meter per second squared. Ito ay Newton. Ito ay meter per second squared. Na kapag sinolve nyo yung mass, ang equivalent unit niyan ay magiging kilogram. Okay? So, hopefully, these 5 problems is ma-establish man lang yung concept ng normal stress. Okay? So, that is for the lecture number 1. So, thank you everyone for listening.